How do you prepare for life in retirement? So many of our resources that we find available are all about, checklists and money for getting ready for retirement. You're looking at things like, handing in your resignation, applying for CPP and OAS, or in the United States for Social Security, looking at getting healthcare things arranged, all of these like checklist type things. But what about your actual life in retirement? There's a lot less attention paid to that, but it's a huge deal. I mean, you've been working for 30, 40, sometimes more years in a career that you've worked hard to build. It's part of your identity. And shifting from that to retirement is exciting, but it can also be scary as well. And if you don't plan that piece as well, it can really affect your happiness and cause stress as you transition to retirement. So let's look at that today. How do you prepare for your life in retirement? And what I want to look at is I've broken it down into four areas. And these four areas are benefits that you get from your job that in order to be happy in retirement, you'll need to find replacements for in some way. So the first is income. Of course, you get income from your career and your job, and you need to replace that in retirement. But there's lots of information about that already out there. So that isn't what we're looking at today. We're going to look at the other three. And the other three benefits that you really get from your job or your career are a sense of purpose, a reason to get up every morning, a community that is working towards a shared purpose. And this is a less profound one, perhaps, but structure. Your job that you get up and go to every day gives you structure in your life. So, those are the three pieces we're going to look at and how you can plan to replace those in retirement. And it's important to note, too, that health fits in there at the very core. So your income affects your health and your health affects your income up until retirement. And then so does your purpose. So if you lack purpose, that can really impact your health. And if you don't have good health, it can be difficult to find a purpose. So you see how they go back and forth. Same thing with community and same thing with structure. So let's start off with purpose in retirement. And what I want to talk about there is that really purpose is your reason for doing what you do. It's setting goals and striving for something that gives you a sense of satisfaction in retirement. Now, some of you are going to have no issue with this whatsoever. You've already got your idea of what you're doing next. It might be, taking care of grandkids. It might be volunteering that you're really interested in. It might be travel in some way. You may have found your purpose already. Maybe you want to pursue writing, or you have these passions that you've nurtured outside of work, and that's great. And now you're ready to move into those. But there are lots of people who just don't have those. They've really focused on their career and family, and that's what's taken up their time. And so this is going to be a huge shift. So if that's you, what I want you to think about is really experimentation and trying to find your purpose that way. So purpose often comes from passions that we have, and passions aren't just generally we're born with them. I mean, they're things we try something and we enjoy it, and then we do it a little bit more and we get more involved. And then before we know it, our curiosity takes over. We've, dived right into it and it's our thing, whether it's astronomy or whether it's car mechanics or, whatever your thing is. And maybe you haven't found it yet, but using that idea of experimentation and just like trying different things to see what might stick. You also might want to take, a piece of your career, something that you're quite good at, and, volunteer using those skills to help others. That might give you a sense of purpose. So it doesn't matter what it is, but having a purpose in retirement will really help. And one example I can give of a sense of purpose, and this was something outside of my job, but I moved cities about 10 years ago, and I love swing dancing. It's dancing with a partner to big band era music. I'm absolutely passionate about it. And again, didn't come overnight. I started trying different types of dance, and then I really got into this one, and I love everything about it. But I moved to a new city and there was no swing dancing. So I tried other dance groups and, country dancing and Latin dancing and things like that. But it just didn't feed my soul the way swing dancing did. So because I missed it so much, I decided to start a swing dance club here. And that involved a lot of work. I had to learn about promotions and marketing and, contracts for venues and all different kinds of things. But anyway, it turned out great. The dance club really thrived. It gave me a sense of purpose for many years until I passed it along to somebody else and I was ready to try new things. But all of that to say, it's not like I set out one day and said, hey, I'm going to start this swing dance community, and that's what I really want to do. It came about through an iterative process. So, just not to put too much pressure on yourself. Some of you, if you're a few years out from retirement or many years out, you can start looking for those things and building them now. Or if you're about to retire, don't put tons of pressure on yourself. Make your purpose in your first year of retirement to find a purpose. And I say a purpose, but I don't believe that people have one purpose. You can find many things that give you a sense of purpose in your life. So don't put too much pressure on yourself either. But that's one of the pieces to prepare for retirement, the non-financial aspect that will really help you if you have a sense of purpose. And all of that leads into your sense of identity as well. So super helpful to have a sense of purpose. And there's so many studies that have shown that if people have a sense of purpose in retirement, they do so much better, they live longer, they're healthier, and they're happier. So, number one, purpose. The second benefit you get from working is a community. Now, sometimes, that community isn't as great as you'd like, and maybe that's why you're wanting to retire. But often you find people that you really enjoy at work, and it's your sense of community. You have a shared purpose. You're working towards a common goal at work, so you have something in common, and that community is really important. So it's important to remember that if you really like your colleagues and you're kind of close to your colleagues because you spend so much time with them every day, but if you never see them outside of work, don't expect that you'll be keeping in touch with them after you're done working there. Like you may a little bit here and there and go back for a coffee and visit, but if you don't see those people outside of work now and they aren't part of your social circle, odds are you're going to be giving that up when you retire. So it's not good or bad, it's just the way it is, but it's to be ready for that and to make sure that you have new community. And again, this may be something that you can start looking for right now, or maybe you've already built it, or maybe that's something you're going to have to find in retirement. But planning for that and realizing that you need that and that it is going to shift is important for you. So a couple of ways to do that is you can look at other communities that you're in right now, but may not be able to spend a lot of time with, whether it's, church or sports communities or other activities you're interested in, and increasing that involvement when you retire can be really helpful. Or you might want to go out and seek out new communities. Maybe they're retirement groups, people at the same stage of life as you, but maybe different stages of life too. I know I really appreciate, I have a friend group that largely came through swing dancing of many different ages. There's so many people who are younger than me, and it's lovely to be around people at different phases of their life, especially because I don't have children, so I don't get to, have kids and grandkids and that kind of thing. But through that community, I am now friends and I have a community at all different ages. So something to think about. It's nice to have people in the same spot in life that you are, but it's also nice to have a variety as well. So thinking about that. And again, if you don't have it right now, that's fine. Make that part of your plan when you retire to go out and seek those things. And again, experiment without a lot of expectation, different communities that you can become a part of, and you'll just find one or two or three that fit, and some won't, and that's fine as well. But having a strong sense of community and good relationships in retirement is also another strong consideration for how long you'll live, how healthy you'll be, and how happy you'll be. People with a sense of purpose and a strong community and good relationships do better in retirement than those who don't have those things. And lastly, structure. It may not be profound, like a great sense of purpose or community in those relationships, belonging, but structure is really important too. So if you think about, you know, when your kids were back in school or your grandkids, and by the end of summer holiday, when they get back into that routine at school, they're so happy. It's nice to have a routine. Or when you've gone on vacation, it's great to take a vacation and just be able to do whatever you want whenever you want. But most people I talk to, when they get back into a routine of some kinds, have some sort of structure in their life, they tend to do better. So that's something you'll want to consider in your retirement as well. And I have one client who retired recently, and it was interesting. She thought that the first thing she would do every day is get up and work out and just pay more attention to her health and then go about her day and do other things. But what she found she really enjoyed doing was spending some quiet time at home in the morning, not having to rush off with the traffic or beat the traffic in the morning. So having a nice leisurely coffee and reading the paper and, puttering around the house a little bit, and then taking advantage and going and doing those workouts, which were still important to her midday when things aren't as busy, and she can do it again. She just really enjoyed that slowing down that pace. And so that was part of her structure in her retirement life. So those are the things you really can focus on, whether you're about to retire or retirement's down the road. But start thinking about that, and the pieces you can plan in advance or start experimenting with, do that. This is all based on research, and it's just when you have that purpose, that community, and that structure, you tend to be happier in retirement than if you don't have those things. So I'd love to hear from you. Does any of that resonate with you? Can you see how you might need to find a new purpose in retirement or look for new communities to be a part of, establish some sort of structure? I'd love to hear what you think about that and what you think will work for you and what you might find challenging about that. So please comment below, tell me what you think. And if you are interested in digging into this more, I have a resource. It's a free course with a workbook as well, a journal workbook. It's the Overcoming the 5 Obstacles to Early Retirement. And it's available on my website, karencarl.com, and I'll also put a link in that below. And finally, if you did enjoy this video, please like it and subscribe. That just helps me to be able to make more of these videos and make them available to more people. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.